A person who makes maps is known as.
Correct. Cartographer is the right answer.
The composition of the ocean crust. You got it. Your choice Seema is right.
I am a cervical quote or deny back.
Good thinking. Muhammad Gauri is the right answer.
Niti Aayog was formed in which year?
Smart move. 2015 is an accurate answer. The Council of Brahmins were called. You're right. Te is the correct answer.
What is the Kanchenjunga height is?
On track, 8598 meters is the correct answer. Who among the following draws maps? You chose cartographer, and it is correct. The greatest ruler of the Chauhans. Right choice. Prithviraj Chauhan is the best answer. Which Arab writing was easy to read? Exactly. Damn makes sense, and it is right choice.
What do we call foreigner in Hindi?
Strong choice. Stranger is the right answer. Prithviraj Raso was written by Dash. Sharp thinking. Chanbayan is the right choice. Who were the great Indian traders? Nice selection. Mullah Abdul Ghaffar is the correct and valid answer. How many hours are there in a day? Good job. Your answer 24 works well here. What are the Civil War amendments? Great job. 13th, 4th, 15th is the accurate answer. Which is the holy book of Muslims? Solid response. Quran is a valid choice. Diagonals do not bisect each other. Excellent choice. False is the right answer. Whose candle was lit among others? Nicely done. Grandma is a solid answer. Where is Moluccas Island situated? Right again. Indonesia is a valid answer. Where is Gateway of India located? Excellent. Mumbai, Maharashtra is a brilliant choice. What was Samarkand most known for? Valid point. Artisans is true. Who explained the circle of justice? Bravo. Fax Imai is the answer. Where is headquarter of Niti Aayog? Nice work. You chose New Delhi, and it is correct. Is segregation still around today? Clear logic. Your choice no is sound and 100% true. Dash was an assembly of merchants. Well picked. The city is the correct answer. Bartolomeu Dias was a Dash sailor? Perfect. Portuguese is the correct choice. When did Romanesque art originate? Well done. 11th, 12th century is the right choice. Why was Dida's title significant? Well reasoned. She was a sister is the correct choice. Which dynasty ruled in the Deccan? Great thinking. Rashtrakutas is the right choice. Ramanuja was born where and when? Smart pick. Tamil Nadu, 11th century is the correct choice. Richter scale was invented by Dash. Correct response. Charles Richter is the most accurate answer. Where were the manuscripts placed? Great job. Both and is the accurate answer. Who ended the Hindu rule in India?
Sharp thinking. The Sultan of Bijapur is the right choice.
Which is the most beautiful garden?
Bravo. Mughal garden is the answer.
Renaissance was considered as dash. Good job. Your answer A, New Age, works well here. Lilatikalam is which century text?
Well picked. 14th century text is the correct answer.
When was Great Zimbabwe abandoned?
Excellent. 15th century is a brilliant choice.
How many Pavas are in Mahabharata? Exactly. 18 makes sense, and it is right choice. Early medieval period is from dash.
Great thinking. 8th, 12th centuries is the right choice.
Who was the first Sultan of Delhi?
Nice selection. Velaruddin is the correct and valid answer.
Who was the chief of Rashtrakutas? Excellent choice. Dantidaga is the right answer. Each mandalam was supervised by a solid response. Governor is a valid choice.
Leif Erikson was a dash explorer.
Right again. Viking is a valid answer.
What is the Indore Auto Base Fair?
Good thinking. Rs 30 is the right answer.
Who was Khwaja Muinuddin Chishti?
Smart move. A prominent Sufi saint is an accurate answer. When did Nader Shah attack Delhi? Correct response. 1739 is the most accurate answer. Dash are in charge of the courts.
Smart pick. Judges is the correct choice.
Humanism was initially started in.
Strong choice. Italy is the right answer. When India entered modern period? You're right. 18th century is the correct answer.
Renaissance is best known for its.
You chose cultural, and it is correct. The word dash means son of a king.
You got it. Your choice Rajput is right.
What is Telangana national animal?
Right choice. Tiger is the best answer.
Who built the Taj Mahal and when? Nice work. You chose Shah Jahan 17th century, and it is correct. Which one is incorrectly matched? Well done. Vijayanagar Bijapur is the right choice, which is not a natural ecosystem.
Valid point. Aquarium is true.
Hindi divers celebrate in India on. Well reasoned. 14th September is the correct choice. For how long did Dantidoga rule? 750 to 756 is a solid answer. Which is the first fort of Delhi? Perfect. Lal Cat is the correct choice. Who was the minor chiefly family? On track. Mastar is the correct answer. The kings often rewarded the dash. Clear logic. Your choice, Brahmins, is sound and 100% true. Which is a threat to environment? Correct. Growing population is the right answer. Indian Army Day is celebrated on. You chose 15th January, and it is correct. Dash were called Iqtidar or Mukti. Nicely done. People who managed Aiktas is a solid answer. Kutubuddin Aibak was also known as
Perfect. To sparkle is the correct choice.
What is Telangana national flower? Good thinking. Lotus is the right answer. This amendment abolished slavery. Right again. 13th Amendment is a valid answer. Who is the author of Gita Govinda? Well done. Jayadeva is the right choice. The founder of Chola dynasty was?
Great job. Vijayalaya is the accurate answer.
Independence Day is celebrated on? Nice work. You chose 15th August and it is correct.
Bengali language was derived from.
Correct response. Sanskrit is the most accurate answer. When did Cristobal reach America? Your answer 12th October 1492 works well here. Rajaraja Chola invaded Sri Lanka. You're right. True is the correct answer. Who were the authors of Torwarik? You got it. Your choice, secretaries, is right. In what city do the Franks hide? Well reasoned. Amsterdam is the correct choice. Machu Picchu is a dash Inca site. On track. 15th century is the correct answer. What amendment let all men vote?
Strong choice. 15th Amendment is the right answer.
Ain Akbari was written by Dash. Solid response. Abul Fazl is a valid choice. The capital of the Chalukyas was?
Right choice. Ialho is the best answer.
Where did the Rashtrakutas rule? Bravo. Western Deccan is the answer.
When did Rajaraja I become king?
Well picked. 985 is the correct answer. How is Diwali known as in Nepal? Excellent. Tihar is a brilliant choice.
Who invented the printing press?
Nice selection. Johannes Gutenberg is the correct and valid answer. Gateway of India is situated at?
Smart pick. Mumbai is the correct choice.
Associations of traders known as.
Valid point. Numerous is true. Dadra and Nagar Haveli is Saptal. Great thinking. Silvassa is the right choice. What century is the year 456 in?
Correct. 5th century is the right answer.
Cholas gained importance in Dash.
Sharp thinking. South India is the right choice.
Tea was first drunk in the year.
Excellent choice. China in 2700 BC is the right answer.
What is the capital of Jharkhand?
Clear logic. Your choice, Raichi, is sound and 100% true.
In which year did Aurangzeb died?
Smart move. 1707 is an accurate answer. Umafenover is used to treat Dash. Exactly. Influenza makes sense and it is right choice. Who did the 13th Amendment help? Well done. All slaves is the right choice. Who built Rajarajeshwara Temple? On track. Rajarajadeva is the correct answer. Balban believed in the theory of. Great job. Divine kingship is the accurate answer. Teacher's Day is celebrated on. You got it. Your choice 5th September is right. Who designed our national flag? Nice selection. Pingali Venkaya is the correct and valid answer. Who is the head of the country? Nicely done. President is a solid answer.
Who was also called Lak Bakash?
You're right. Kut or Din Aibak is the correct answer.
Where was Baba Guru Nanak born?
Correct response. Zandate is the most accurate answer. Keet is a type of parallelogram.
Exactly. False makes sense, and it is right choice.
Who was the last ruler of Palace? Good thinking. Rampal is the right answer.
What is another name of Myanmar?
Good job. Your answer Burma works well here.
The term Rajasthan means dash.
Excellent choice. Land of Kings is the right answer. There are PHP's dash type teams. You chose 3, and it is correct. When was Sati system abolished?
Well picked. 1829 is the correct answer.
What does medieval stand for?
Right choice. Middle is the best answer.
How many days does Diwali last?
Right again. 5 is a valid answer.
Somnath Temple was destroyed by. Smart pick. Sultan Muhammad is the correct choice. In which state Agra is located? Great thinking. Uttar Pradesh is the right choice. Where is the Taj Mahal located?
Strong choice. Agra is the right answer.
Children's Day is celebrated on. Valid point. 14th November is true. Dash was called a gate to Mecca.
Well reasoned. Surat is the correct choice. Name a river located near Hampi. Excellent. Tungabhadra River is a brilliant choice.
Who created Indian flag design? Nice work. You chose Pingali Venkaya, and it is correct. Qutb Minar is named after Dash.
Clear logic. Your choice cop-up day on is sound and 100% true.
Qutbuddin built 2 mosques, 1 in.
Correct.
Delhi and Ajmer is the right answer.
Who introduced the Ikta system? Solid response. Fast is a valid choice.
Which amendment ended slavery? Smart move. 13th is an accurate answer. Where were the Mayans located?
Sharp thinking. Chichen Itza is the right choice.
Iqtidar was also known as Dash. Perfect. Freedom is the correct choice.
Machu Picchu was built in the. Bravo, 15th century is the answer. Thermometer is used to measure. Excellent. Temperature is a brilliant choice.
When did Marga go to Holland?
Exactly. December makes sense and it is right choice. What century are we living in? Well picked. 21 is the correct answer.
The core has a radius of about.
Nice selection. 3,500 km is the correct and valid answer. Capital of Rajasthan is Dash.
Sharp thinking. Jaipur is the right choice. Mercutio is a relative of Dash.
Great thinking. The Prince of Verona is the right choice. Early medieval history is from
Great job. 8th, 12th centuries is the accurate answer.
In what country was Anne born?
You're right. Germany is the correct answer.
Which castes were the Rajputs?
Valid point. Kshatriya is true.
How many Nayanars were there?
Excellent choice. 63 is the right answer.
Qutbuddin Aibak was founder of?
You chose Mamluk or slave dynasty, and it is correct.
Who founded the slave dynasty?
Good thinking. Qutbuddin Aibak is the right answer.
Who renamed Cape of Good Hope?
Strong choice. King John I is the right answer.
Jami Masjid was built by whom? Nice work. You chose Shah Jahan and it is correct.
Who wrote our national anthem?
Bravo.
Sir Rabindranath Tagore is the answer.
Sultan Mahmud Ghazni was from?
On track. Afghanistan is the correct answer.
Young one of a cat is called. Clear logic. Your choice, kitten, is sound and 100% true.
What is meant by archaeology? Solid response. The study of remains is a valid choice.
Group of villages is known as.
Right choice. Nadu is the best answer.
Delhi was first built by Dash.
Good job. Your answer, the Pandava Kings, works well here. Which planet is the smallest?
Well reasoned. Mercury is the correct choice.
What was the first pesticide? Nicely done. Insecticide is a solid answer.
Chamanas were later called as?
You got it? Your choice, Chahans, is right.
What did Anne name her diary? Well done. Kitty is the right choice.
When did Timur invaded India?
Smart pick. 1398C is the correct choice. Republic Day is celebrated on.
Correct response. 26th January is the most accurate answer.
1 kilobyte is equal to?
Smart move. 124 bytes is an accurate answer.
Dantidoga declared himself a...
Right again. K. Kshatriya is a valid answer.
First Prime Minister of India?
Perfect. Pete. Jawaharlal Nehru is the correct choice.
World Water Day is celebrated.
Correct. 22nd March is the right answer. Who founded the Chola Empire?
Smart pick. Vijayalaya is the correct choice.
When did Harshavardhana die? Right choice. 647C is the best answer. How many years in a century?
Excellent choice. 100 is the right answer.
When did Anne's grandma die? Great thinking. January 1942 is the right choice. Bridesh by Temple this dash?
You're right. Tanjava is the correct answer. What insect is useful for us? Clear logic. Your choice lack insect is sound and 100% true. Who discovered parallelogram? Great job. Verignon stone is the accurate answer.
What is Surat also known as?
Sharp thinking. Gate to Mecca is the right choice.
What is minimum age to vote?
Nice work. You chose 18 and it is correct.
the highest leader of a city.
Valid point. Mayor is true.
Which is not a useful insect.
Well reasoned. Mosquito is the correct choice.
Dash was built by Hollerith.
Correct response. Tabulating machine is the most accurate answer.
Thanjavur was the Dash town. On track. Temple is the correct answer. All capitals are examples of.
Correct. Administrative town is the right answer.
When Hindi Divas celebrated.
You chose 14th September, and it is correct.
Who was Iltutmish's daughter?
Well picked. Sultan Raid is the correct answer.
Chronicler of Khalji dynasty.
Solid response. In the world is a valid choice.
Delhi consists of dash parts.
Good thinking. 2 is the right answer.
Mandalam a village assembly.
Smart move. False is an accurate answer.
Prashastis were composed by. Well done.
Brahmanas is the right choice.
The last Mughal emperor was.
Perfect. Bahadur Shah Zafar is the correct choice.
Who built Taj Mahal at Agra?
Nicely done. Shah Jahan is a solid answer.
Who invented jacquard loom? Good job. Your answer, Joseph Mary Jacquard, works well here.
Which is the capital, India?
Bravo. New Delhi is the answer.
What do you mean by Melanie?
Excellent. A domestic worker is a brilliant choice.
Who defeated Muhammad Ghori?
Strong choice. Prithviraj Chauhan is the right answer.
What was Kolan looking for?
Exactly. India makes sense, and it is right choice.
The Pallava kings were from.
Nice selection. Kanchipuram is the correct and valid answer.
Gajara Pratiharas ruled in.
You got it. Your choice, Gujarat and Rajasthan, is right.
Fastest animal on earth is.
Right again. Cheetah is a valid answer.
Khajuraho temple is in Dash.
Great thinking. Madhya Pradesh is the right choice.
Performed Hirani Gaurati.
Right again. Dantidurga is a valid answer.
Malekus Island is known as.
Well reasoned. Spice Islands is the correct choice.
National vegetable of India.
Great job. Pumpkin is the accurate answer.
Wallpaper project involves.
You got it. Your choice, all of these, is right. Keraj was a type of taxon. Well picked. Cultivation is the correct answer.
Mushroom rocks are found in.
Bravo. Deserts is the answer.
A group of Urs is called as.
Smart move. Nadu is an accurate answer.
Athanasius Nikitin is from.
Nice selection. Russia is the correct and valid answer.
Who collected the revenue?
Sharp thinking. Influential families is the right choice.
Who constructed Agra Fort?
Correct response. Akbar is the most accurate answer.
Machu Picchu was built for.
Smart pick.
Pachakuti is the correct choice.
What is the aim of a fort?
You're right. To protect from enemies is the correct answer. Who abolished sati system?
Excellent. King Rammohan Roy is a brilliant choice.
What is this Hiranya baby?
Strong choice. The golden womb is the right answer.
What are the Eastern Ghats?
Exactly. Mountains make sense, and it is right choice. The old name of Ceylon was?
Valid point. Ceylon is true. What is 1568 as a century?
Nicely done. 16th century is a solid answer.
How many months in a year?
Right choice. 12 is the best answer.
Bartholomew Dias discovered.
Solid response. Cape of Storms is a valid choice. October 31st, 2017.
You chose October 31st, 2017, and it is correct.
Who built Kalanai Dash?
Nice work. You chose Charcoal Chola, and it is correct.
Water is important to our. Good thinking. Earth is the right answer. When was Anne Frank born?
Excellent choice. 12 June 1929 is the right answer.
Who built Great Zimbabwe?
Correct. Bantus is the right answer. What is Assam famous for?
Good job. Your answer both and B works well here. Iltutmish was replaced by.
On track. Kuchubudin Aibak is the correct answer.
Rachurdob was between.
Perfect. Krishna and Tungabhadra is the correct choice.
Tripartite struggle means.
Well done. 3 parties is the right choice.
Plural form of millennium.
Clear logic. Your choice millennia is sound and 100% true.
Delawal was the name of.
Well done. Coin is the right choice.
He raided India 17 times.
Well picked. Mahmud of Ghazni is the correct answer.
Sun Temple is located at.
Well reasoned. Konark is the correct choice.
Where was Sharat located?
Right again. Gujarat is a valid answer. How many hours in a day?
Right choice. Twin 4 is the best answer. What century is 1412 in?
Correct. 15th century is the right answer.
Who wrote Rajataranjani?
Smart move. Kalhan is an accurate answer.
Where was Hampi located?
Strong choice. Krishna Tungabhadra Basin is the right answer.
What does ADA stand for?
You're right. Americans with Disabilities Act is the correct answer.
Group of Urs is known as.
On track. Nadu is the correct answer.
First President of India. Good job. Your answer, Rajendra Prasad, works well here. Who was Jalaluddin Rumi?
Bravo, Sufi poet is the answer.
How many days in a week?
Nice work. You chose 7 and it is correct.
Badoni is the author of.
Nicely done. I was met is a solid answer.
The capital of India is.
Excellent.
New Delhi is a brilliant choice. What constitutes a Naidu? Solid response. Earth is a valid choice.
Delhi is capital of dash.
Great thinking. India is the right choice.
A period of 1,000 years.
Good thinking. Millennium is the right answer.
Imphal is the capital of.
Clear logic. Your choice, Manipur, is sound and 100% true.
What is your state name?
Nice selection. Karnataka is the correct and valid answer.
Muhammad Ghori defeated.
Smart pick. Prithviraj Chauhan is the correct choice.
Who is a cartographer? Great job. Someone who makes maps is the accurate answer. Construct means to dash. Correct response. Build is the most accurate answer. Who was Indantadurga?
Valid point. Rashtrakuta's chiefs is true.
Who wrote Kitab al-Hind? Sharp thinking. Byron is the right choice.
General Secretary means.
Excellent choice. Prime Minister is the right answer.
Who wrote Ain Akbari?
Perfect. Abul Fazal is the correct choice.
Prashadi was written in.
Exactly. Sanskrit makes sense and it is right choice.
Qutb and Aibak built.
You got it? Your choice, Qutb Minar, is right.
The Charminar is in.
You chose Hyderabad, and it is correct.
Where was Margaret born?
Exactly. Frankfurt, Germany makes sense and it is right choice.
What month has 28 days?
Nicely done. All months is a solid answer.
The core is made up of.
Great job. Nickel and iron is the accurate answer.
Qutb Minar is in dash.
Well done. Delhi is the right choice.
Charminar is in dash.
Sharp thinking. Hyderabad is the right choice.
National Song of India?
Nice work. You chose Odi just and it is correct.
Rajghat is Samadhi of.
Correct. Mahatma Gandhi is the right answer.
Who were the Samantas?
Smart pick. All of these is the correct choice.
Are you ready to start?
You got it. Your choice, yes, is right.
Segregation means dash. Solid response.
Separation based on race is a valid choice.
Sun Temple is at dash.
You're right. Konark is the correct answer.
Who wrote Prashastis?
Clear logic. Your choice, learned Brahmanas, is sound and 100% true.
Air has mass and dash. You chose occupies space, and it is correct.
An Arabic ruler means.
Excellent choice. Ruler is the right answer.
Who were called Naidu? Right choice. Groups of villages is the best answer.
What century is?
Correct response. 13th century is the most accurate answer.
Composition of core.
Well reasoned. Love is the correct choice.
Who is Vasco da Gama?
Great thinking. Portuguese sailor is the right choice.
Head of the state is. Good thinking. Governor is the right answer.
Seismic waves are off. Valid point. 3 types is true.
Abdur Razak is from.
Right again. None of these is a valid answer.
Who invented abacus?
Excellent. Tim Cramer is a brilliant choice.
Lesser elected by. On track. People is the correct answer. Archive store dash.
Perfect. Both manuscripts and documents is the correct choice.
What is Friedman?
Bravo. A former slave is the answer.
Muhammad Ghazni Spur.
Strong choice. Powerful is the right answer. What is epigraphy? Well picked. The study of inscriptions is the correct answer. Who was Al-Idrisi?
Good job. Your answer cartographer works well here.
Choice 17th century.
Smart move. 12th century is an accurate answer.
Who are Devadasis?
Nice selection. Temple dancers is the correct and valid answer.
December 15th.
Valid point. December 15th is true.
The chief of Kudi.
Right again. Divrable is a valid answer.
Chandigarh capital.
Great job. Chandigarh is the accurate answer.
Abuse of you dash. Correct response. Groups of villages is the most accurate answer.
Hiraya Garms Mers.
Right choice. Golden Womb is the best answer.
Women's suffrage. Strong choice. 19th is the right answer.
Taj Mahal is in. Well reasoned. Agra is the correct choice.
Capital of India.
Nicely done. New Delhi is a solid answer.
August's 12. Clear logic. Your choice. August 12th is sound and 100% true.
Ibn Battuta was?
Perfect. Traveler from Morocco is the correct choice.
September 12th. Smart move. September 12 is an accurate answer.
Putsi Mindesh.
You're right. Primary Health Center is the correct answer.
March of 2001.
Excellent. March 12th, 2001 is a brilliant choice.
December 24th.
You chose December 24. And it is correct.
June 2013 5th.
Good thinking. June 20th, 1315 is the right answer.
April Asnojum.
Great thinking. April 2nd, 1945 is the right choice.
Banjar Azar.
Solid response. Traders is a valid choice. What is vet?
On track. Tax is the correct answer.
Anand Pulvas? Correct. Indian ruler is the right answer. October 30th. Exactly. October 30 makes sense and it is right choice. January 8th.
Well done. January 8 is the right choice.
February.
Sharp thinking. February 13th is the right choice.
September 7. Excellent choice. September 7th is the right answer. March 16th. Bravo. The 17th of March is the answer.
And
job. Your answer. The 22 of April works well here.
Sufiswa.
Nice selection. Muslim mystics is the correct and valid answer.
January 1.
Smart pick. January 1st is the correct choice.
May 12th? Nice work. You chose May 12 and it is correct.
July 1st?
Well picked. July 1 is the correct answer.
You got it? Your choice May 5th is right.
How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format. Excellent. Contact Narayan Changda on Facebook is a brilliant choice.